everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the BJ and Tuds Show. As always, joined by my friend Tuds. Tuds, how are you today?
Doing good. Should be a fun episode.
Yep, got a lot.
Hopefully a lot of arguing when our Mets counterpart comes on.
Yep.
Got a lot to talk about today.
So we're gonna start with a little NBA. From there, we're gonna do some NFL hot takes. We're gonna talk some baseball, Mets, Yankees. We have our friend Kyle, who's been on the show before. He's a Mets fan. We're Yankees fans, so they're probably the two of the best teams in the league, I would say. So we'll see how that goes. I know he loves his Mets, and we love our Yankees here, so that'll be interesting. But let's talk some basketball. So last time we talked, we were in the middle of the finals. So obviously, as we all know, the Warriors ended up wrapping it up in 6. They get their 4th ring in 8 years. And Steph Curry kind of solidified himself as one of the best point guards of all time, just getting that finals MVP and winning 4 rings. That means a lot to a legacy, obviously. I'm not going to go as far as some people have and say he's on LeBron's level, because he's not.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously incredible run for the Warriors. They made that Celtics team, who was really, really good from like the All-Star break on, look like they were when they were below 500 at the beginning of the season. They forced them back into a lot of bad habits, turning the ball over and such.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Tatum, 13 points in game 6 is unacceptable from your number 1 player.
He don't got that dog in him.
He really, sometimes it really seems like he doesn't. And now, if you're the Celtics, I don't think it's panic. I don't think you
No.
I don't think you have to make any major improvements to the roster.
No major. Definitely keep the core. An actual starting point guard would help them.
Yeah.
A little more depth. Maybe one more shooter. Like, they're a team that they get hot together. Like, they'll, as a team, get hot and won't miss. But maybe one more consistent shooter off the bench, a starting point guard that, it doesn't have to be a ridiculous point guard, but an above average starting point guard, and they're going to be right back.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know, I'm sure there are NBA championship odds for next season out already. I haven't seen them, but I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if you told me the Celtics were the favorites.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. But anyways, I don't want to harp on JT. We've talked about how we feel about JT a lot this postseason run, and that is what it is. Let's get into this Kyrie situation. So this one's, it's tricky. So he can opt into $29.5 million on June 29th, I believe. So but he's looking to get an extension, restructure. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Obviously, I'm sure he wants more money. However, I don't know if you can pay Kyrie Irving.
Right.
As talented as Kyrie Irving is, he is arguably a top 10 player in the league talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But how reliable is he?
And I think it's going to depend on the team for that. Like, in a situation like the Knicks, who haven't had a point guard of that caliber in decades, literal, not years, like decades.
Yeah.
I would take a chance on that guy.
Sure.
But who are the 2 other teams that were mentioned? Lakers.
I saw the Lakers. I didn't hear anybody else.
There was one more team. Clippers. Clippers was the other team.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense too, though.
It does make a lot of sense, but I think the Knicks are in a better position to make that risk than, say, the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers can find a point guard for cheaper, and with Kawhi and Paul George healthy next year, they're going to make a run anyway.
Right. I was just going to say, you're getting your max player back. Like, you're signing a max player already by getting Kawhi Leonard back for the Clippers. So, I mean, you're a solid team. When Kawhi Leonard was healthy, you were a game 7 away from beating the Nuggets and going to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they need to blow that up. I think they have the pieces to make that work in the West, especially. But talking about the Knicks, I don't, as much as I would love them to go get Kyrie Irving just because they don't have that point guard, I don't know if they pull that trigger just based on what I've seen being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they're trying to clear cap space for Jalen Brunson. They just signed his dad on the coaching staff. I've also heard what you and I have talked about. They're looking to maybe move pieces for Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah.
So I would rather go that route and spend money elsewhere. But if they can get a guy like Kyrie, you can't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think, so the number one thing I would try to do if I were the Knicks is to trade it for Jaden Ivey.
Sure.
I would much rather have Malcolm Brogdon than Jalen Brunson.
Absolutely.
Just because what you're getting with the money you're paying.
Yeah.
And then I would probably, I'd rather have Kyrie over Brunson, but it's just a much bigger risk at that point.
Right. Exactly.
And with such a young team, Ivy makes like kind of the most sense.
I agree.
You got Toppin that's hopefully going to be our starting 4 next year if we can somehow move Randall. Because the second half of last year, Toppin really showed that he can be a starting player in the league.
He can play. Obi Toppin can play. There's no doubt. I'm not concerned about what we have on the roster right now. Like, I'm not saying we're a contender by any means, because we're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you have to make these moves. You have to move Julius Randle. You have to maximize what you can get for him, because clearly he does not want to be here. And I think that showed with his play and his attitude on the floor last season, which I get it. Fine. But at the same time, the Knicks, we're at a weird part for a franchise here. I call it NBA purgatory, because you're not good enough to contend. And you're also at the latter half of the lottery where you're not getting those top players, like some of these rebuilding teams that can, build and buy and make it work. Like, look at the Celtics, especially the Celtics are a great example. All those guys have been drafted besides Al Horford. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, that something to think about. And if they can go get Donovan Mitchell, I would be on board if you bring in a point guard with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Donovan Mitchell can be your best player on a great team, but I think he can lure people in, especially in the New York market.
Sure. Yeah.
Unlike he has been been able to in Utah, to come play with him in New York. I think that is something that could happen.
For sure.
But
and another thing about getting a 2 like that, I'd rather have Fournier off the bench. I think he's a really good player, but he'd be a really nice spark plug off the bench
than
starting.
I do agree with you, but you're paying him too much money for him to come off the bench.
If you can go get Mitchell, though, that's what's going to happen.
Well, Fournier will probably be in the deal, I would imagine.
That's true. Yeah.
But especially if the Jazz are keeping Gobert, getting rid of Mitchell, they're going to want a little infusion of youth, but also players that can help them right now.
Yeah. Speaking of Gobert, which I do think he's going to get moved and not Mitchell if they were to move only one.
I mean, that's the route.
If I were them, I'd blow it the fuck up and get rid of both of them.
Yes, I agree.
Because they're not winning anytime soon. But I heard on Twitter today, Chicago is like going to be a dumb thing.
Gobert to Chicago.
Yep.
Interesting.
Which I think works very well. Like, they weren't very happy with Vucevic last year.
No.
Because he didn't bring the offense he brought in Orlando, and Gobert's much better defensively.
Yeah, Vucevic can't play a lick of defense. So yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that team doesn't need scoring.
It doesn't, especially out of your 5. They need a defensive 5.
And especially when they get Lonzo back, they're going to be pretty solid. So I wouldn't worry about the Bulls.
They do bring back Levine, then they're going to be in great shape.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. Now let's talk a little bit about the NBA draft that's coming up Thursday this week.
It's crazy how fast the NBA draft comes up after the season.
Oh, I know. They waste no time.
NFL, you got like 3-4 months to like.
Yeah. The NBA wastes no time.
Yeah.
I saw today Paolo Banchero, he was like plus 2,300 to go first, like June 14th. Mm-hmm. He's now plus 230.
Oh, wow.
So
is Chet still the favorite? Or?
I didn't see who the favorite was. I just saw that number, but I think Jabari Smith was the favorite.
Really?
So Orlando picking, they don't need a center.
Mm-hmm.
So Chet would really clog that. But at the same time, you're the Orlando Magic. Just take the best player available, which I think is Chet.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do everything.
If I'm the Magic, though, I'm just so tired of not having that go-to scorer that they haven't had in years.
Yeah.
Really take Paolo if I'm the Magic.
You would take Banchero?
Yeah.
See, I think I would go Jabari just because he can guard. I mean, he's a little more sound defensively, in my opinion, than Banchero. He's a better 3-point shooter. He can stretch the floor a little bit more, but with Banchero, you do get that volume scoring where he can do it from all three levels, which the Magic definitely need.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this draft. I actually think it's a fairly deep draft. I think you got about 7 or 8 pretty good players that could really help a team.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see how it shakes down, especially for the Thunder. I know they have a top 3 pick, and then I think they're picking again at 8. I wouldn't be shocked if they moved one of those for more future picks, just the way they've managed this whole thing.
Yeah, they already traded 30 for a future pick because they already had 2 firsts.
Yeah. It's just how they've operated.
And I might have missed it, but they do have 2 firsts.
I think it's
2 and 12. 2 and
12. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to be interested to see how they operate here. But all right, let's see if we can get Kyle on here and talk some baseball and football, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, so now joins us Kyle Borey, friend of the show, friend of ours. How are you doing, Kyle?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a while. It's a pleasure to see you guys as always.
Yeah, last time we talked on the show was NFL mock draft?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even think we came close, but
no, nobody really does. Nobody really does.
We nailed both of the Saints picks.
Okay. Yeah, we did.
A lot and pending. So
it feels good when you get some right.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk some football here. Let's get to this Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns situation. I think it's inevitable that Deshaun Watson gets some sort of suspension.
For sure.
So what do the Browns do with Baker Mayfield? Because I don't think he plays a snap for the Browns. And I wouldn't if I was him either.
I think he does play for the Browns this year.
Really?
I don't think he wants to at all, but I think there's a reason that he hasn't been moved yet.
Interesting.
I don't think they want to be stuck with Jacoby Brissett if it ends up being a year-long thing.
Sure.
Or even half the season, and you're playing in a tough division, you have Brissett for 8 games, that can cost you a playoff spot.
Absolutely.
I think Baker would have been moved by now.
I see the argument for why you think Baker would have been moved by now. The only reason I think he has not been is because I think other teams are waiting to see if, some of these backups get cut or something like that. You know how that always works. Just, you got to cut guys because of cap and stuff. So maybe they say, okay, well, we'll go out and get this guy. I don't have anybody in mind, but we'll go out and get this guy, work with it, and see how we can do instead of going to trade for Baker Mayfield.
I also think this is like the least amount of teams that need a are the Panthers, who are paying Darnold too much to have him for 1 year and then get rid of him.
Sure.
And then Seattle, who they have options, but I don't think they love any of them.
Pete Carroll said if Drew Lock was in this draft class, he would have been the first off the board.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a rough take.
Yeah.
Interesting. But other than those two teams, is there a team that really needs a quarterback that'd be suitable for Baker?
No, but listen, so my take on this is to touch on the Panthers that you brought up, Tuds. I got an alert the other day and I was looking it up, and I guess the Panthers and Browns, I'm sure you guys heard, were close to a trade for Baker, but I guess the one holdup was Baker's salary. And I'm assuming that's probably a major player in why he hasn't been traded yet. Nobody wants to take on the salary of a former first overall pick,
Right.
Fifth year option.
Right.
The way I look at it is if I'm the Panthers, I think it's worth a gamble. I think you can get him for cheap right now. I think it's worth a gamble because Darnold, as much as I love the guy, he's not it. He's not an NFL quarterback by any means. I think it's worth a gamble. You get him for 1 year. If he pans out, you extend him maybe for like a mid-tier contract. If you don't, you don't. You move on. And then you lose him and Darnold. You go to the draft next year and kind of restart from the ground up.
They also did bring in Matt Corral.
Dude, I'm not a big Matt Corral guy. I understand he's a third-round pick, but like, I don't know how they look at him, but in my eyes, Matt Corral is a career-long backup, and that's probably why they drafted him, maybe to push Darnold.
Maybe.
But I wouldn't rely on him for the future. He wouldn't be in my future plans if I was a Panthers fan. And then also quickly to touch on that Baker playing for the Browns point, I don't think he ever plays for the Browns again. I think when they traded for Deshaun Watson, I think they kind of made their bed and now they got to lay in it.
Sure.
And I think Baker's, doesn't want anything to do with that organization. So that's.
Are you saying he won't play another snap or he won't be on the roster?
That's a good question. I definitely don't think he'll play another snap. I wouldn't be surprised if, like BJ said, he remains on the roster until they see how the backups fall, or maybe to see what injuries pop up week 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
I don't think he'll play another snap though.
So say that Watson gets suspended for half the year. You think they'll go with Brissett even with Baker on the roster?
I don't think they'll have a choice, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Why?
Baker
doesn't want to play. I don't think
they already dismissed him from mandatory mini camps.
Right, but if he's on the roster, like he is not. The Browns are going to have more say than him.
I mean, yeah, but
like at that point, Baker needs to play to keep his value.
I was just going to say there's two mindsets to this. If you're Baker Mayfield, it's either you traded for Deshaun Watson, my ship has sailed here. Clearly, I'm not valued here. Whatever, I'm not playing here. Move me. There's that mindset, or it's Deshaun Watson suspended, the guy you traded for. I'll step in. I'll win us a bunch of games because I know I can play.
See, I don't see that. And the only reason I don't see that is because the way I think his mentality that he had last year was, okay, I'm hurt. I probably shouldn't be playing, but I'm going to go out there for my team, for my teammates, for the organization. I'm going to play and be a dog and fight through it. And that mentality kind of essentially might have cost himself his career because he was, let's call it what it was. His third year, he was a top 12, 15 quarterback in that range. He was efficient, very efficient, took care of the football. And then he played with injuries this year. And now we're talking him as like maybe a bottom tier quarterback. So I don't think he's going to take that kind of gamble again.
I think that's fair too. I think that's the most likely thing.
Yeah.
But I also agree with Tuds. Yeah, the team does hold more water than the player.
True.
But I don't know. It's definitely an interesting situation that I can't really remember anything like.
But Tuds, so let's say like you're Kevin Stefanski, right? And so you're choosing between Jacoby Brissett, right, who's a veteran, right, who's won some football games. Like last year in Miami, he was brutal, but he's won some football games in Indianapolis and New England. He's a vet and he wants to prove himself. Are you going to pick That over, say, Baker, who he doesn't want to be there, he's not going to play for the team anymore. He's going to play for himself. Is it kind of worth that risk in picking Baker over Jacoby?
I'm picking the guy that sets the Browns up in the best position for when Watson comes back to have a good playoff spot.
Okay. All right.
And if I pick Baker, I'm expecting him to try his best because he needs to keep his value. And if I pick Brissett and 8 weeks later we're 3-5 and we're third in the division, and then Watson needs to climb up a mountain to try to get back into the playoffs, that's a waste of one of the years with Watson. And especially the team around him right now is very suitable to make a playoff run.
Sure.
So I think if Baker is there week 1 on the roster, then he's going. But I don't think that's going to be the situation. I think he's going to be gone before then.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's get into some hot takes for this regular season or this upcoming season. Borey, kick us off.
All right, guys, I'm going to start you off. I kind of
Borey's going to be piping hot.
Oh yeah, piping.
I'm piping hot. Ready? I'm going to go at you two with this one, okay?
I already know what this is going to be.
No, you know what it's going to be. The New England Patriots will finish last in the AFC East. Now, it's a hot take.
It is.
But I've texted BJ about it for the last months on end. I'm not buying that roster. I'm definitely not buying Mac Jones. Bill Belichick, I don't want to say he's losing his edge. He's the greatest coach of all time. But when you have Joe Judge and Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinators, I would trust BJ or you even Tuds to call an offense more than I would those two. So I don't see it. I think that roster lacks talent, excuse me. The Jets are younger, yes, but the Jets, in my mind, they have more pieces. They don't have the experience, but they have more pieces.
Sure. I don't think I think the Patriots could finish at second at best, and that's if they tie with the Dolphins, because I think the Dolphins are better. But I know we're better coached. Then again, the offensive side of the ball, I have no idea. Now I just don't buy. You don't buy Mac Jones. I don't buy Zach Wilson. I don't think he's that good.
I'm with you there. I'm not buying stake in him yet either. I buy stake in his talent. Now, when I see him throw a bubble the way I used to in cold weather, now I start having a couple questions about him when you can't complete a bubble in the NFL. So I'm with you there.
Definitely.
I don't hate the take. It's a hot take.
Yeah.
But I think I've said this before, but the 2 corners we drafted, it's going to really be on them to determine how good we're going to be this year.
Sure.
But I can see it happening.
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I don't think it does, but I could see it.
Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous.
Tuds, what do you got for us?
The Saints are going to win the NFC South.
I like it. I like it.
Had the Bucks numbers past couple seasons.
They
had really 3 receivers they didn't have last year. If you're counting Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. A quarterback that they didn't have last year.
Yep.
Who's a safety?
They just signed Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May.
Tyrann Mathieu they just signed.
Marcus May.
I think they're going to be a very good team.
Who's their coach?
I think they're. I was trying to think the other day who their
Dennis
coach
Allen.
Who's it?
Okay.
Dennis Allen.
Who's
he was their defensive coordinator last few years, I believe.
That's right.
And I think the Bucks are on a bit of a decline from when they won the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
No
They've kept the same roster, and it's just, they're just trying to extend the years here, see what they can do. I mean, They were like a Matt Stafford at Rams drive away from going to this NFC Championship game again last year. I mean, so we'll see. We'll see.
I like that take, Tuds. I like that take. I might bet on him. I like that.
I was thinking of it.
I've said this before. This is my first. I've said this before.
Oh, God.
Derek Carr leads the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns.
Dude, what is your obsession with the Raiders, man? What is your obsession?
I love the Raiders this year. I'm all over the Raiders this year.
Oh my God.
I believe in Derek Carr's talent. I think he is vastly underrated.
Oh,
They
by all
gave him-
means, I agree.
They gave him all the weapons in the world. If they can make the offensive line decent,
They're not though. They're just not.
look at the numbers Derek Carr put up last year without Devontae Adams. Like
I
he
know.
was a very efficiently like throwing for 350, 400 yards like the first 6 weeks of the season.
You need to be on, a winning team to get those accomplishments though, and their O-line and defense is a problem. And as good as Derek Carr can play, which he is very underrated, he needs help around him that aren't just receivers.
Okay.
So that's my big problem with it.
Listen, I know everybody here besides me hates the Raiders.
Whoa.
I don't hate them. They play in the hardest division in football.
Yes, but Tuds, that point right there also could help BJ's point. I was just thinking about it. When you said Derek Carr, I kind of was like, all right, slow down. And then you said most receiving yards, most passing yards, most passing touchdowns. I thought about it. They are playing the AFC West. Their defense can give up a bunch of points. That's 6 games a year. He's going to potentially have to be in a shootout. He's going to throw, right? He's got weapons. O-line might not be good, but all he's going to do is going to throw 50 times a game. He's going to have to play catch up a lot for the lack of his defense. Now that I think about it, BJ, I apologize for my initial reaction. You might be onto something there.
Why can't you use the same argument for Herbert, Mahomes, and Wilson, who are
their defenses are significantly better. Trying to maybe the Chiefs.
That's true, but if all the AFC West games are going to be shootouts, then that means Herbert's going to have 400-yard games. Mahomes doesn't have a great defense next year.
Well, it's
he's
funny
gonna.
to say that,
They not the Chiefs, but the Chargers have a really good running game too.
Yes.
So that like where the Raiders, they have no O-line and Josh Jacobs is solid. He's not Austin Eckler.
But Tuds, it's funny you said that because one of my hot takes and probably my next one was going to be.
Go ahead. Jump into it.
No, I'll skip it now because it kind of ties into yours. Mine was going to be that Herbert leads the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. So
okay. Yeah. So
I don't think that's too hot.
Yeah, probably not.
Not hot enough for Andy.
I want a scalding.
Listen, you want me to give you a hot take? I'll give you a hot take right now. Lamar Jackson will not be a top 20 quarterback this year.
Okay.
20. Wow.
20.
You lost me.
Is that because of weapons?
That is because of weapons. And if you look at him in a year-to-year statistical rating from his MVP year, right? Don't get me wrong. I give credit where credit's due. MVP year out of this world, right? Every single year by year, his interception ratio has gotten higher. His touchdown percentage, has gotten lower. Yards per attempt has gotten lower. Yards per rush has gotten lower. All those numbers and, fractional stats have decreased year by year by year. I don't know if I attribute that to maybe Lamar is the league's getting a little more accustomed to him. Maybe because he lost J.K. Dobbins and he lost all those players and he was on his own last year. BJ knows more than anybody else. I'm not a big Lamar guy. I cannot stand him as a quarterback. I think he's severely overrated. However, the part that makes this a hot take is the running aspect of his game. But I just don't see him as a passer and lack of weapons. I think the Jets beat them week 1, but that's a different story.
Oh boy. Okay. That might be hotter than the Lamar take. I think I understand your point of fractional stats dropping each year with Lamar Jackson. I get that. However, clearly he was the league MVP. He can play up to that level. And you don't think he has that he's got a switch. Some players have it, some don't. He has that switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see him after his year last year when they lost everybody. He got hurt even. I don't see him having another down year. I would argue he gets MVP votes this season.
It is a contract year too, so I guess we'll see how he responds to that.
Yeah, the top 20 is a little much, but I get what you're saying. Like, you take away all his weapons, Mark Andrews is going to be doubled. Like, they're going to have to double Mark Andrews after what he did last year.
Absolutely.
Bateman, I love Bateman, but when he was the only true receiver that can hurt you, like there's not much with that offense. You have 2 running backs coming back from injury. There's a lot of question marks in the offense.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying there.
It's gonna be a lot of RPOs, fellas.
Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of RPOs.
ton. Ground and pound.
He's gonna have to rush like he did like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. That's my point. Like there comes a certain point where you don't have to honor the passing game anymore, like maybe they did in his MVP year, where you can just stack the box, right? Force him to make these throws into one-on-one coverage. I trust my corner to beat, say, Rashad Bateman. I trust my safety to, beat Mark Andrews, and it's gonna be blanket coverage, and we're gonna sack it. You gotta run the ball. We're stacking the box.
Right.
But I mean, it's a hot take for a reason. So.
Yep. So my next hot take.
Yep.
The Cardinals go under 500.
That was one of mine.
Let's go,
I
BJ.
do like that, Tuds. I do like that too.
I think that division. I think the top 2 teams in that division are much better than the Cardinals, and I think their schedule is kind of tough. And I don't.
Their schedule is very tough. Their schedule is very tough.
I don't believe in Kyler Murray.
Nope. Especially without D-Hop. We saw what he was last year without D-Hop. It was like bad. Like them trying to complete first downs without the binky of D-Hop was every first down they were fighting for their lives to get.
Oh yeah.
And you lose Chandler Jones to the Raiders. You have an aging JJ Watt that's probably going to play half the season.
Yeah.
You get Hollywood that's he's Hollywood. You lose Chase Edmonds. So, and with their schedule, I don't think they're reaching 500.
I agree.
Lost Christian Kirk too.
Yeah.
Yep. Lost Christian Kirk. Mm-hmm. James Conner is not going to have as many touchdowns as last year. There's just no way.
No. That was a career year for him.
100%.
Like they got, the amount of times they got the ball to the 1 yard line last year and they just handed it to him was pretty ridiculous.
I like it, Tuds. You're 2 for 2 with me. I like him.
I'll keep my last one in the division. Not my last one, my next one in the division. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
I like it.
Are you assuming Jimmy G or Trey Lance is the quarterback?
I don't care who the quarterback is anymore. I changed my stance. That was my stance for a bit, but that roster, I don't think it matters.
Trey Lance is terrible.
Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Well, yeah.
Give him a chance. He looked bad last year in game, but he's got a shit ton of talent, and he has the pieces around him to make it work.
Not only he has one of the best offensive minds in football.
Yeah.
And you're telling they'll figure that out.
And Jimmy G is not too great too, and he's made it there with that team.
I think Jimmy G is very underrated.
I do too. I really do.
He is.
I love Jimmy G.
If you ask me if he would come to the Jets, I mean, obviously we got Zach Wilson, but I would take Jimmy G in a heartbeat. I feel like most teams would.
The only thing that concerns me about the Niners is how good is that offense going to be without Mike McDaniel? Because I think he was a massive part of the success of that offense.
True.
Sure.
So we need to see a couple weeks of that offense without him to see if they're going to be what they were last year offensively.
Sure. Tuds, throw me we just did yours and then mine. Kyle, to you.
Okay, last one I got. You kind of just touched on the same thing. You had 49ers. I'm going to take the Chargers in the same position. Chargers to make the Super Bowl and probably win it. This is my thought process, right? It might be a square pick. If you ask my boy Jared, he absolutely hates them. But listen, last year they were missing a defense, right? They went out, they got Khalil Mack, right? He might be a shell of himself still, but he still has that presence opposite Joey Bosa. Derwin James will be healthy, right? They went out and got J.C. Jackson, right? Their defense is bulletproof solid. They got Asante Samuel on the other side of J.C. Jackson, right? And this is barring injuries. Justin Herbert's going to take another leap, right? We saw him take a big leap this year. Now imagine he's going to do that again with a similar playbook, right? This will be his second year in Brandon Staley or whoever the offensive coach's playbook is. It's going to be his second year. Keenan Allen's back. Mike Williams is back. Austin Eckler's back. their offensive line just got bolstered, got even better. I'm a big proponent on, if you look at previous Super Bowl champions, minus Tom Brady's Super Bowls, obviously, a lot of times Super Bowl champions are that second to third to fourth year of a rookie quarterback's year, where you don't have to pay the quarterback big money. You can spend that money elsewhere. I think this fits the bill, and I think this is the year to do it. Now, I don't know if they're going to win the division. They might have to take the hard route in that division and go to the wild card.
Sure.
But playing that division is just going to help them be more prepared for the playoffs. So,
See, I don't think that's hot. I don't think it's hot. Not hot enough for me.
no, how do you, what about you, Tuds?
I
like it
this year.
I'm hoping that it's going to be a Chargers Bills AFC Championship. I think that game will be insane.
That'll be electric.
And I do think the Chargers are going to win the division. But even if they don't, they'll be fine for they'll be a wild card team. And they'll be able to make their way. So
Absolutely. No, I love the Chargers this year, not as much as I love my Raiders, but I do think the Chargers. I think in a playoffs like situation, I think the Chargers would make more noise than the Raiders.
I just think Brandon Staley needs to find that happy medium of aggressiveness and conservatism. Like right now, last year he was basically playing Madden out there.
Yes.
He was questionable last year.
Yeah, he cost him the Chiefs game and a couple other games, and he's got to dial it back a little bit. Don't change who you are as a coach, but dial it back a little bit. You know, listen to the analytics a little more.
Agreed. Tuds, what do you got?
So I've said this to BJ before. I don't think I've said it on the podcast yet, but Aaron Jones leads the Packers in receptions.
I love it. I told you.
Don't have a true wide receiver one. You're going to have a big mix of Watkins, Christian Watson, Alan Lazard. Tunyon's probably going to have a kick up in receptions next year. And I don't see A.J. Dillon getting thrown to a lot. I think Jones is going to benefit from a lot of checkdowns. I think they're going to use him a lot more, running routes in the passing game. And I think he will.
I was just going to say I could see them putting him in the slot a lot of times.
I could see that too.
Have the two running backs on the field with A.J. Dillon in the backfield and put Aaron Jones in the slot.
I don't think they did that at all last year, but I think they might need to this year.
Yeah. So I don't hate that at all.
Listen, it definitely is a hot take because obviously he's a running back, but I don't mind it either. I like that because you made a couple of solid points, especially, like BJ said, they can flex him out. I could definitely see that. He's one of the only guys on the roster right now that Aaron Rodgers actually has trust in. So I like where you're
I think if not him, maybe Lazard. I don't think Watson's going to be a reception phenom. I think he can get some good yardage.
I agree.
And since I have more than you guys, I'll just go to my number 4 right now.
Yeah, hit me.
Dalton Schultz finishes 4th in tight end receptions.
Behind Kelsey Waller.
I have Kelsey above him. I have Mark Andrews above him, and I have Kyle Pitts above him. And I think he finishes 4th.
To be up there.
Yeah, Pitts.
Pitts has to be above him. Yep. I had him 3rd when I was doing this. I forgot Pitts. I was like, Pitts will have more receptions.
Yeah,
I think he has more receptions than both Kittle and Waller.
I agree.
Amari Cooper's gone. I think they got rid of Blake Jarwin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he's still a free agent, to be honest.
Okay. And he had a great year last year, and I think he's going to have to pick it up even more for the offense. So I think he's going to benefit from a lot of receptions next year.
Yeah. And when he was healthy last year, he was a big target. I mean, they found him a lot of times more in the end zone, but that was, Amari's still there and CeeDee Lamb and all that. But I think without Amari, I could see that definitely happening.
Yeah, I definitely can see that happening too. I like Dalton Schultz. And again, Tuds, I like where your head's at, but I definitely have him ahead of Waller. Waller's going to lose some targets with Adams coming in, and obviously Waller is very injury prone.
Right.
Kittle,
I'm expecting Waller not to play every game.
Right, and especially if Lance is the quarterback for the Niners, I don't think Kittle's going to see as many targets. Obviously, I like it because I like when quarterbacks, I feel like when they're in trouble and they can't get in a rhythm, tight end should be your go-to guy.
Yeah,
tight end, he's got to be your guy that you kind of break the mojo up. If you're slumping, right, get a couple passes, see the ball get in their hands, right.
Yeah,
and Dak's been up and down, so I think he could really become his security blanket. So I like where your head's at.
All right, my second to last one. Doug Peterson wins Coach of the Year this year.
Okay.
Now, before I respond to that, are you pro or anti Trevor Lawrence?
I'm pro Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, good. Okay.
I think he makes that next jump. Obviously, there was some shit going on behind the scenes that nobody really knows about besides who was in there. It's hard for a rookie quarterback to come in there and try to be productive. I think Doug Peterson is a good coach. And I think the Jaguars, I know they dished out so much money and overpaid for a bunch of guys, but they got better. Jacksonville got better. So I could see this team. I'm very down on the Titans. I think they'll be close. And I think the Jaguars will be one of the most improved teams in the NFL, despite picking first overall for another year.
And like you said, they could finish second in that division. It's not a hard division to finish second.
It's not a good division.
Not at all.
Besides the Colts, I think the Titans aren't going to have a good year, like I just said.
Sure.
And then, I mean, nobody's catching in the Colts. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know. There's not very many like teams that were like so bad where they got a new coach or this and that, where things will line up for a coach of the year. But I think Doug Peterson, he can revolutionize the Jaguars' trajectory here into like something competent.
Sure. For me, I'm throwing out all of last season for Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely.
And this is your first year. Let's see what you can do this year.
Yep.
Everything that happened last year, I don't care about.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that all out the window.
Agreed.
You got Peterson, you got some more weapons, you got a better O-line. This is your year to show that you're the clear number one pick from that draft.
Exactly. All right, Tuds, give me Borey. You said you don't have any more, correct?
No, that's all I had. But quick, just touch on that, the Trevor Lawrence thing. I agree with everything you guys said. I just want to thank you guys for not being biased football fans. All my friends from home have already written off Trevor Lawrence, say he's absolutely terrible, has no future career, just purely because I like him. So it's kind of refreshing to talk football with guys that
absolutely
know.
not. No.
Right. It's refreshing.
Me and BJ can be biased off camera, but when we come on here, we try to be as neutral as possible.
It's refreshing.
You saw last year, I know they weren't good in a lot of games. He wasn't good, but there was a lot of throws he made last year where you're like,
so many flashes, dude.
Like he's still like, he's not working with much.
Right.
He can play.
Yep. I needed someone to say that. I needed someone to bring up Trevor Lawrence. That was refreshing for me.
Yeah. Give me your last hot take here.
I don't think anyone can throw away Lawrence yet. Like,
no,
he has a lot of football ahead of him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Way too talented. So my last hot take, I don't know how hot this is going to be, but it's hot because like a lot of people don't have them finishing last in the NFL, but I have the Chicago Bears finishing with the worst record in the NFL.
I don't know if that's hot, Tuds. That's
it's not hot. Like a lot of people have Atlanta below.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Seattle, it's Chicago. I think it's Chicago or the Bears.
Texans. Yeah. Chicago's really bad in like every area.
Yeah.
Their O-line's still horrible. Their receiver room, they drafted Velus Jones to be their number 2. He's like 26 already.
They hired a defensive coach.
Defense is bad.
Yeah, they hired a defensive coach with Justin Fields in his second year. What are you doing?
Yep.
Yeah, the Bears. It's not going to be pretty.
I think the Lions definitely finish above them in the.
Oh yeah.
NFC. Oh yeah.
Also, I think the Vikings win that division too. But I agree.
I think that's very possible.
It's very possible. I think that's very possible.
The Packers defense is just so good, and they added 2 more great defensive players in the draft. That's what I think is going to carry them. But yeah, I think the Vikings could win that division.
I think. I mean, they could. I don't think the Packers do better than like 11-5. So I could see that being, kind of the line where the Vikings could get. I don't know if they reach that totally, but
I think both the Packers and the Vikings will be right around that record.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Bears will be at the bottom.
Yeah. All right. My last hot take. This one's probably my hottest, I think.
Oh, God.
Ramondre Stevenson leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns.
I'm not responding. Next.
Let me listen. He is the big back. I think he's going to get most of the goal line carries this year because this is
touchdowns or yards.
touchdowns.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not yards. No. He's not going to get enough. He won't get enough carries to have the yards.
That makes me feel a lot better.
But you've seen Patriots running backs before lead the league in touchdowns with LeGarrette Blount, and they still had that certain timeshare situation. The timeshare doesn't scare me for touchdowns. That's all about touches. Ramondre Stevenson this year, I believe, will get those touches because I think he's shown he has probably, I think, some of the best vision in the running back room, and he has probably the best balance in the running back room in terms of like staying on his feet, finishing forward. And I love Ramondre. I think this is Harris's last year, and I think they start to kind of wean out Harris towards the end of the season.
I agree with everything. I agree with everything you just said. I think Ramondre is definitely the best running back. I think he'll have more rushes, but I can definitely see them using Damian still a lot on the goal line.
Yeah.
I hope they use Ramondre, a mix of Ramondre and Pierre Strong to get them down to the goal line. But I still think that Harris will get a lot of goal line touches. I think that Hunter Henry is a goal line, one of the biggest goal. I think that's a hot take for sure.
Yeah.
Because I love Ramondre, but there's so many backs.
And
Hunter Henry,
and that's why
they have Hunter Henry, who's like the automatic target on the goal line. So
yeah, definitely a hot take, but I don't mind it. I mean, Patriots just got to get down there. Their offense has to get down there, and then
that's enough out of you.
Is that not a fair take?
They'll be fine.
Okay.
They'll be fine.
Okay, you got it.
They'll be fine. All right.
Better than the mess.
All right. So Tuds has got how many? 15 players?
15 NFL players. You two are going to guess which college they went to.
Okay.
All right.
So how are we doing this? Are we saying it out loud or are we writing it down on paper?
I'm going to say the player out loud. You write down the college, and we'll count down. You'll show it. All right.
Okay.
The first half are easier. The second halves get more difficult. We'll go through 14, and on the last question, you will wager how many points that you have that you want to bet for number 15. All right. So even if you're down like 5, you can still win at the end. Okay.
I don't like this. BJ always beats me in shit like this.
BJ's very good at this kind of
always
stuff.
Beats me in this kind of stuff. It makes me so mad.
You ready for number 1?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
David Montgomery.
I'm ready. Ready?
Yep.
Flip him.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yep. Iowa State. And just keep track of how many points you have.
1-1.
You didn't think I was going to
Number
get
2, Aaron Jones.
Ready?
Ready, flip.
Utah.
UTEP.
UTEP.
Damn.
Texas El Paso.
I knew it was a U.
It was UT. You were.
Damn.
Number 3 is Keenan Allen.
Ooh.
Oh. I don't think I know that. I thought the first half was easier.
I got it. This is easy.
I wasn't going to give any gimmies.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I got this one.
Yeah.
The thing with Keenan, he's been in the league for like so long that
Yeah.
I don't remember when he was in college at all.
I just took a shot in the dark.
I mean, the first half I knew these, and then some of the second half I didn't know.
It was Cal. Come on. I put San Diego State.
Cal.
At least I'm in the right state.
All right. That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Number 4, Davis Mills.
You got it, Kyle?
Yep. Stanford.
Flip.
Stanford.
Yep.
All right, boy. We got 42 through 4.
Sure.
Or you're never out. Remember that.
Never out.
Never out.
Got that dog in you.
Oh, you know me.
Number 5 is Philip Lindsay.
How is he so quick with it, dude? Like, take a breather, think about it.
I don't need to think about this one. I got this one.
I have nothing. I'm blank.
Colorado.
Yep.
Oh, I did know that.
Yeah.
Remember he had like no offers. He walked on.
Yeah. I've heard
Played
the
for the
story million times.
Broncos in Colorado.
Yeah, I've heard it millions of times. Thanks.
Come on.
Number 6, we got Cole Kmet.
Ooh.
I mean,
I got it.
I thought I knew colleges of NFL players. Apparently not.
You have one?
I put Utah again, but
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I knew that. Okay.
He's getting frustrated.
I'm melting down. I'm having a meltdown.
7.
So much for the first half being easier. All right, let's go.
7 is new Jaguars receiver, Christian Kirk.
Oh.
I know. Come on. I can't think under pressure right now, but I know it. Oh, I do know that.
You know this one.
I
You
think.
know this one. Ready?
Yep.
A&M.
No,
What
I
do you
knew
have,
that.
Borey?
I put TCU.
Texas A&M.
Oh my God, I knew that. Oh.
7-2.
BJ's in my head. Let's go.
Hey, you're never out.
I'm out.
As long as you know 15. 15 is a tough one. If you know that, you're going to have a good advantage.
I'm out.
Number 8 is Kirk's new teammate, Marvin Jones.
Ooh.
Old head.
Yeah, he is an old head. I don't know if I know this one.
If you guys both don't know, I can give you a state.
Yeah, I need a state.
All right, give a state.
California.
Oh.
Okay.
California. You already down, Beach?
Yeah, I made my pick.
Marvin?
Because I thought this in the first place. So that was a sign for me.
Nice. All right.
UCLA?
USC.
Cal.
Damn.
Oh.
All right.
BJ, didn't he scream Pac-12?
Yeah, he did scream Pac-12.
Some guys just scream Pac-12.
They really do.
I'll take a moral victory that BJ got it wrong right there.
Yeah, that's the first one I've gotten wrong.
Thanks.
Tough.
All right. Number 9. Rashad Penny.
How are you writing that down so quick?
Oh, no, I got it wrong. Oh, did I though? Yes,
Uh-oh.
I did.
Trouble in paradise.
I don't thought I knew this shit, but I guess not.
Okay. I got one. San Diego State.
I put Oklahoma State.
San Diego State.
Oh my God. So beat down.
Utah, I wrote down first. Same colors.
Mm.
So it got me. So we have 8-2 through 9.
Yep.
Sounds like a Mets Yankees game.
Which one did you miss, BJ? Oh, just that one?
Marvin Jones.
Oh, Marvin Jones. Yep. All right, number 10 is Kendrick Bourne. Not an easy one.
That's
This
a
is
Patriots player, though.
the last 5 are tough. So
It's a Patriots player. I should get.
I got it.
I'd hope you know. You're a Patriots fan. I put Georgia. I'm definitely wrong.
Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
close, BJ. You're wrong.
Western Kentucky.
Eastern Washington.
No.
Oh, did he play with Cooper Kupp?
Yes.
Right.
I knew that. Damn it.
Well, clearly not, Brendan.
I mean, you know what? That's enough out of you. It's 8-2. You're getting your ass kicked.
I'm making a declaration. From 11 to 14, Borey's points are now worth 2.
I love it. I love it. Give me the pity points.
Okay.
No shame in that. No shame. In
Are we at 11 right now?
There's a lot. Of shit.
This is 11 right now.
Okay.
Number 11 is Adam Thielen.
Oh my God.
I think this is right.
Once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
I don't know if I'm right. I think I am, but I'm not sure. Thielen's kind of a weird one.
all right. I don't think I got it right, but I put Northern Colorado.
Minnesota?
It's Minnesota State.
I almost put Minnesota State. It's Division II, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it
think
is.
so.
I almost put Minnesota State, but
That's how I always remember it because he plays for Minnesota. He went to Minnesota State.
Yeah.
I
Damn.
would have thought that one.
Okay. Damn. I should
That
have
would
got
have been huge for me.
12 is Lions running back Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams, huh?
Let me know if you need a state.
BJ needs it. I need it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like a state.
I have to look this up because I'm not too positive.
Oh, that's fine.
Good.
It's in Utah. And it's not Utah. Or else I wouldn't have had to look it up.
Okay, I got one. You ready?
Utah State.
BYU.
BYU. Brigham Young.
He's gonna lose it.
If it was Utah State, would have I had to Google where Utah State was?
Come on.
Well, I thought BYU being in Utah was common knowledge too, but apparently not.
Not for me. It could have been. I thought like Nevada maybe.
I can see that. Okay,
There's close. There's Mormons over there too.
It was either Utah or Nevada.
I'll give you that.
13 is Paris Campbell,
I don't even know who that is.
At least for the Colts. Come on.
post receiver.
You receiver?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if I know Paris Campbell.
You're gonna have to give me a state.
I'll take a state.
I'll give you a conference.
Okay.
Better.
Big Ten.
Big Ten. Paris Campbell, Big Ten. Oh. Okay.
Oh, my pen's
Wait.
not-
Are you pulling some shit on me?
No, my pen's not writing.
Me never.
Oh, I'm talking to him.
Changing my answer.
Why is my pen not writing? That's aggravating.
Okay. Do you want to just say it out loud?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it right anyway.
Okay. What do you got? What is it?
Michigan State.
I have Ohio State.
There's Ohio State.
What, dude? Like you guys had to have collaborated something beforehand, like embarrassed.
BJ's a
Borey.
freak, dude.
No, I
that's
just
like some embarrassed Borey thing going on.
no, I'm weirdly good at this shit.
I thought I was too, but no, I'll never think that anymore.
What's the score right now?
10-2.
You didn't have
All
to
right,
say.
Borey, this is worth 5 points for you and
You
one
make it
for
worth
BJ.
11.
We're on 14.
Okay, this is 5 for you, 1 for me.
So 5 for Borey. This one's worth 5 points for Borey.
Okay, get him back in the game.
It's a tough one. Austin Hooper.
Oh,
Come on, Borey.
Austin Hooper.
Borey, I'm gonna text you the conference. BJ gets nothing right now.
So brutal. This is brutal.
Austin Hooper. So Borey gets the conference.
Borey gets the conference. You get nothing.
Ooh.
Great.
Come on, Borey.
Great.
I had a suspicion about 2 teams, and one of them was in that conference, but I couldn't see him wearing those colors.
You couldn't see him wearing those colors, you say? Okay.
I mean, I guess I could.
I'll
I'm
bite
okay.
because I had one team in mind. I said I can't see him wearing those colors.
Interesting.
What we got?
Stanford.
What we got?
Stanford.
It is Stanford.
Oh,
It is
okay.
Stanford.
Okay.
So that's now you got some points to play with for the wager round.
Now I got some points to
Now
play
you're
with.
in. So
All
it was 11-7.
It's 11-6.
I only got one right before that.
2.
Yeah, that was worth 5. So it's 11-7.
11-7.
Oh, you're brutally beating me down. You're trying to cheat still.
It was an accident. Relax.
All right, so 15. You have to make your wager right now. Put how many points you want to bet and circle it for your wager.
We're both going all in.
You can wager. You have to wager at
I'm
least
not going
one.
all in.
and up
I don't
as
need
many-
to.
At
That's
least
so
one and
soft.
up to as many points as you have.
That's so soft. I would go all in for you, Beach. All right, put me all in, Tuds.
All right,
Okay.
so 7 for you?
Yeah, I have to, don't I?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going 4.
No quarterbacks
Okay.
on this list. Maybe that's why I'm
Davis
not-
Mills.
Davis Mills was the only quarterback.
Yeah, and I
The
got
other
that
ones
one.
are obvious.
Yeah.
Number 15, Marlon Mack.
Yeah, I'm shot.
Marlon Mack.
Wait,
I can, if you both want it, I can give you the state. It should help.
I
Unless
think
one of
I
you
have
knows
it.
it.
Give me the
I
state.
feel
anyway.
like I know it.
Give me the state.
Or if you think you know it, I wouldn't give BJ the state.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't think I
Got
know it though.
I
But
got it. You're fried. I got it.
so you're looking stuff up.
Why would I look stuff up? I
How
don't.
did you
need
just
to.
get it out of nowhere?
I've been thinking the whole time, Kyle.
All right, listen. Give me the state, Tuds.
Florida.
Yep, I got it. Here we go.
USF.
Right.
Miami.
It is USF. That's a dub for Mr. BJ.
This is a joke. This was you guys cheated.
I would never.
Yeah. You
I have too much
before.
respect for the game.
I don't need to cheat to kick your ass in something like that.
All right.
Okay?
On to baseball. Oh my god.
Move on to baseball.
Oh my god.
All right. I mean, do we want to just get right into how the Yankees are the best team in the league and the Mets are like the Yankees' little brother or whatever? Do we just want to talk about that right now?
Listen. So now you got me angry for just whooping my ass in that game. Okay. So now, Tuds, BJ, I text you after every Yankees game. I text you before every Yankees game. I'm going to say my piece now. Okay. So clearly, Tuds, Brendan cannot tell my tone of text through his phone. Okay. So when I make jokes, right, and I say something very lighthearted, do I think the Yankees stink? No, I'm not a moron. Right. I might be stupid, but I'm not dumb. Okay. Like, do I think that they're all that? No, I don't think they're a very good. I don't think they're a great baseball team. I think they're a good team. I think they're hot right now.
Yeah, they've been hot for 3 months. It'll wear off, right?
Yeah, it happens to the Mets every year.
We're
Not a great baseball team.
No, and here's my thought process. I've told you before, right? I actually I already lost this bet, so I'll admit it. I bet them before the year not to make the playoffs.
Ooh.
And I have a couple thoughts that go into that. One, they're very home run reliant, and that holds true. Now they play in Yankee Stadium, okay, so they might be able to get away with it, which they are. Okay, so one, they're very home run reliant. Two, if you're telling me that Nestor Cortez, Jordan Montgomery, and Jameson Taillon are going to hold up the whole year, you need to put the drugs away. Okay. Two, right? The bullpen's good. I get it, right? But outside of Stanton, Judge, sometimes Rizzo, that lineup stinks. They stink, guys. I'm sorry. The lineup stinks.
No.
You cannot sit here and tell me, ooh, they just gave up a home run, by the way. Nestor Cortez. But you cannot tell me with a straight face right now that Aaron Hicks is a good hitter. Joey Gallo's a good hitter.
You just named the two worst players on our offense.
Tyler Falefa is a good hitter.
He is a good hitter.
He is a good
He
hitter.
has zero power, absolutely zero power. Connor Falefa is a good base hitter.
Gio Urshela, we could argue. We could
He's
He's
argue
not on the
not
team
anymore.
anymore.
What? Or
Not
not Gio
on the
Urshela. Sorry.
Twins.
Sorry. I meant Gleyber Torres. I'm sorry. Gleyber Torres.
Glaber's having a great offensive year.
Mhm.
He is. He's having a very good offensive year. But
13 home
Yeah.
runs.
Yep, 13.
is he 13?
Yeah.
Judge obviously is in a league of his own.
You haven't mentioned DJ.
DJ's having a down year, is he not?
He's having an up year from last year, but a down year from 2019, where he was unbelievable.
Right. So
He's still a
2019.
very good hitter.
I feel like in Yankees fans, like your standard for DJ's here from 2019, right? He's a step below that right now.
Well, I understand that he's never going to get back to that season. Get it?
Right.
He was what, third in MVP votes that year?
Yeah, something like that.
So-
Josh Donaldson stinks.
Yeah,
Also, Nestor Cortez has now given up 2 home runs in the first inning.
really.
Want to point that out.
Good thing I didn't bet on him.
Donaldson stinks. Well, Trevino thinks he's Mike Piazza now, apparently. I
No,
don't know where that's come from. To finish up,
So-
what I'm saying, and then I'll let you guys respond. Do I think they're a good baseball team? Yes. Do I like to joke with Yankees fans because they are the most ignorant and most flammable fan base in all of baseball? Also, yes.
so Trevino thinks he's Mike Piazza.
And I
Is the
meant that,
catcher just not allowed to play well?
no, I mean that in a good way. Like he's playing like extremely well. That's how I meant that.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Like a lot of our team is, and they have been for 3 months. All I've been hearing is the pitching won't hold up. They only hit home runs when it gets cold, it'll stop. But all they did keep doing is keeping teams to 0-1 runs, hitting bombs, and not porch jobs this year. Usually, I don't like defending the porch because we, like, in history, we've hit a lot of porch jobs. This year, than the first 2 weeks for Rizzo, he's been hitting moonshots.
No,
Judge
Rizzo's
hits
mashing the ball.
bombs. Huh?
Yeah. Rizzo's mashing the ball. That's for sure.
Rizzo, yeah.
I like Rizzo.
His first, like, out of his first, like, 6 home runs, 4 of them were, like, porch jobs. Ever since then, he's been hitting bombs. Judge and Stanton don't need a short porch.
No.
Like, this team can hit home runs anywhere.
Yes.
Glaber's pulling the ball this year, which usually he hits oppo home runs. He's been pulling the ball. So we're going to hit home runs everywhere. We have the best bullpen in baseball. And when you have the best bullpen in baseball and you can only have an off day and score 3 runs and still win, like that's the key to success right there.
Good point.
Great. I agree with that. He does.
I don't think like Tyone. So Montgomery is what he'll always be. He'll give up 2 or 3 runs a game, but you will always be in the game when he pitches. He's nothing special. Is Nestor and Tyone going to keep this up? Probably not.
Yeah. Right.
Probably not. I don't think they're going to. That means they're going to be bad by the end of the year, but they're not going to be this.
Right. So let's jump into our little exercise that we did. The all New York exercise. Okay, all New York.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea, by the way, Tuds. I like this idea.
Yankees and Mets. So 5 starters, every position player in a DH, and 5 bullpen arms, including closer.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Let's start. Right before we start, BJ, Borey, besides the Mets and the Dodgers, who do you think has the best chance to make a deep run in the playoffs out of the National League? Because obviously the National League's much better than the American League this year. I think there's a lot of teams that could do something. So other than Mets and the Dodgers, who's that one team you're worried about?
My recency bias wants to say the Braves, right? I know. So granted, I always make the schedule joke about the Yankees. They've played a lot of not a hard strength of schedule. When I say that, I understand you play who's on your schedule, right? I joke about it because it pisses you guys off. It's funny to me. So that also can apply to the Braves, right? They won 14 games in a row. They played 28 games in a row of teams that were under 500 at the time they played them, right? So I think they're playing good baseball right now. They're not playing great teams, but you look at that lineup up and down. Like, they don't have Albies in there right now because he fractured his foot. He'll be back. Dansby Swanson's playing like a number 1 overall draft pick finally. I'm a huge Austin Riley guy. Acuna's obviously Acuna. Yeah, Acuna's obviously Acuna. Kenley Jansen's electric as a closer, right? Matzik, who's a good arm out of the bullpen, is down right now. He's hurt. Who else they got? Matt Olson's finally starting to click, like he's comfortable in Atlanta. Right? And they got other pieces that are starting to hit. Travis d'Arnaud was one of the best hitting catchers in the MLB, right? Yep. So that lineup scares me. And then you look at the rotation, right? The rotation's been pretty solid. Ian Anderson, right, who's from my hometown, right? He's having a down year. He has like a 4.68 ERA this year, but as we've seen in the postseason and everything, that guy can click. Especially when he gets his changeup going, he can click. So I think the Braves scare me. Now, do I think they can obviously make a run like last year? No, it's hard to do. But they do scare me. I wouldn't sleep on them again just because they lost Freeman.
Yeah, the schedule thing, I think that just comes down to the American League not being very.
Yeah, the American League.
Compared to the National League, it's just not as good. And
yeah,
obviously we're going to play much more American League teams than National League teams.
Right.
So it is what it is. What I find funny is the first quarter of the season, we had a pretty easy schedule. And all I heard from the Red Sox fans was we're only winning because of that, while they started atrociously. And now that the second quarter of the season, the Red Sox have a super easy stretch of games.
They're hot right
now.
now.
All of a sudden, they're super good and they're back, even though the Yankees are now playing tougher teams and still winning. So
that's a good take, Tuds, too.
We're beating every team.
You are. And I think you're right about. I think the Astros series coming up is going to be a big teller for where you're at. If you could lose them all, right? You could lose them all, and like I'll probably get on you guys for it. But at the end of the day, all jokes aside, right? Even if you lose all the games, it's a good teller, like it's a good sign of where you guys are at.
I think the stretch started. We swept the Rays at home.
Yeah.
We won 2 out of 3 in Toronto. We won last night in Tampa. So that's 6 out of 7 against the 2 other than the Astros, the 2 other best teams in the AL. And we're winning the Yankees are winning in every way possible.
Right.
They're killing teams. They're coming from behind. They're winning 1-0 and the pitching was insane.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. As much as I don't like them, we got to give them credit, right? They're having, to this point, a historic season. So
right.
All right, let's jump into this lineup.
Let's start with starting pitching.
Okay.
We're not counting DeGrom, correct? Because he hasn't pitched.
Yeah, DeGrom is not in here.
Okay.
So give me your first pitcher, Andrew.
Garrett Allen Cole.
Obviously. I think that's an automatic.
Dude, last night he was insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No one could touch him last night.
Why are you quiet, Kyle? Yeah.
I'm going Max Scherzer number 1.
I have Scherzer 3.
If you, Brendan.
This year?
Brendan, I swear to the good Lord above, the creator of heaven and earth. If Nestor Cortez is number 2, I'm
this
going
year?
to hang up this call.
Nestor Cortez has been better than Mr. Scherzer this year.
You have Nestor Cortez number 2.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tuds,
right
you
now.
want to get Joe on because I need to get the hell off. That is okay.
Listen,
let's stay with
Scherzer is obviously a better pitcher, but if he's going off this year, like
going off this year,
let's stay with number 1.
I have Scherzer. I have Scherzer
number 1. I have Scherzer number 1.
Okay, fine.
So you have Cole number 2.
You have Cole 2.
I have Cole number 2.
Okay. I have Cortez.
But, I understand Scherzer is definitely better than Cortez, but if you're going off of just this year, it's not crazy to have Nestor do.
No.
Like he's having one of the best years of any pitcher.
Here's my thing, right?
He might start the American League All-Star.
Here's my thing. Yeah. Right now, like Yankees, not necessarily you guys, Yankees fans as a whole are getting so caught up in the numbers, right? I'm a big numbers guy, right? Numbers never lie to you. I get it. At the same point, right? You watch Nestor Cortez pitch. Can you look me in the eye and tell me that 1, it's going to hold, and that 2, that he is, let's say, you tell me that he's in that caliber of pitching? Watch him pitch. Like, yes, he keeps him off balance, right? His stuff is just not good enough to be up there. It's not. It's really not.
Well, that's the only reason. His stuff is the only reason he's had success. He's not blown it by people.
No, I know, but he's messing with the hitter's timing, right? He's coming with different angles. Yeah. Yes, he has 5 different pitches, right? But he's coming from different arm angles.
But time out. Let's get back to the numbers. Why are we? I thought numbers never lied.
They don't. But
so what are we doing?
But numbers never lie. Cortez has a 6+ ERA career wise.
But not this year.
Because Matt Blake taught him the cutter. Matt Blake taught him a cutter at the beginning of this year, and then no one can hit the cutter. That's one of the biggest reasons.
The whole rotation to cutter. But he's a 6 and over ERA career for a reason, guys. He is not a good pitcher. And yes, he is dealt until this point, right? He's going to fall off, and it's going to happen very, very soon. And I'm not going to say like, oh, I told you so, because it's pretty evident given the way his career has gone to this point.
Okay, that's enough. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Who do you have number 3?
Number 3, you're going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? I have Carlos Carrasco.
Ooh.
I have him on my list, but he's not 3. I have Scherzer 3, and he's also not 4, but he's on my list.
Okay.
He's on my list.
I have Nestor 3.
Okay. I have Tyone 4.
I have Tyone 4.
Tyone's been really good this year.
Like, if we're going off this year, how's Tyone 4 ridiculous? He's been he can be an all-star. That's how good he's been.
Just at this point right here, right now?
I mean, I get it, but like
it was on the Yankees. What if he was on the Mets with what he was doing this year? I go Tyone 4. You're gonna go, oh, you're gonna go, no, he should be at 3. That's what you would do if he was on the Mets.
That's not true at all.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Jameson Tyone has been so good this year. And for you to make that.
Oh my God, guys, that's like saying like, you guys know who Paul Blackburn is for the A's?
Yes.
Right? Paul Blackburn's got like a 2.5 right now. That's like me saying Paul Blackburn's a caliber pitcher.
Tyone is 8-1 with a 2.7 ERA.
Okay, nice. Cool.
So
That's good.
how is that crazy that we're putting him 4?
You're gonna watch him pitch and tell me that he's better than other guys you could put on this list?
Yeah.
Like, yes, the stats have to be there. The stats are 50% of it. The ability and the eye test has to be 50% of it too. Tyone does not deserve to be on this list, guys.
Borey, I go to one Yankee game a month. I'm cursed with only seeing Jameson Tyone. I've seen him live probably 8 or 9 times.
Well,
and he has never disappointed me.
Why don't you check the rotation before you buy tickets?
Because I buy them like 2 weeks in advance. I don't know.
Carlos Carrasco has a 3.96.
Yeah, he got shelled in his first outing.
Well,
recently.
BJ, he's on the Mets though. He's on the Mets.
He's 8-2 with a 3.96. Tyone's 8-1 with a 2.7.
Yeah.
And we're in mid-June. There's been enough of a sample size. It's not like the first bad start's going to throw everything off.
And I'm not saying Carrasco's bad because he's not. I have him at number 5.
I know. For podcast reasoning, we're not going to get deep into depth, but if we had more time allotted, I would take a deep dive into the opponents that Tyone has faced compared to the opponents Carrasco has faced and the quality of lineups. But we're not going to go there because we don't have enough time.
All right, fine. You know what? Whatever. Who do you have 5?
I didn't say my number 4 yet.
Oh, who do you have 4?
And you're not going to like this pick, and it's not a Met, but you guys are not going to like this pick because this, again, goes against the statistics. I'm a big Severino guy, so I put Luis Severino 4. I love Sevy's stuff.
Okay, see, I like Sevy's stuff too, but the numbers aren't there, and the other pitchers are pitching better than him right now.
His command just hasn't been there this year. His stuff's still great. His command has been great.
That's a fair take. I'm not going to combat that.
So, did you give Tyone as 4?
Yep.
Who's your 5th?
So I don't have Carrasco, but I have Taijuan Walker number 5. I love Taijuan Walker. I'm a big Taijuan guy.
Interesting.
I watched him pitch a lot last year. Not a lot this year, but I looked at his numbers this year, and they're still looking pretty good.
Okay.
But
I have
from a guy that doesn't watch a lot of Mets games, I guess Carrasco is better than Taijuan this year. Borey?
He has been lately. Although, I mean, Taijuan's been dealing lately too. Taijuan's a very big pitch to contact pitcher, but his last 2 games he had, I believe it was 10 and then like 8 strikeouts, which is uncharacteristically like him.
Yeah, that's
I like Taijuan a lot.
Yeah.
Who's your 5th, Kyle? Is it Walker?
No, it is not a Met, and it killed me to put him here, but without the bias in me, I put Nestor Cortez at 5.
Okay. As long as he's on your list, I don't care.
Because like you said, he has been pitching and the numbers are there. Now we need to move on before I throw up.
Do we want to go bullpen or position player?
Wait, did you give your 5, BJ?
Yeah, Carrasco.
Okay.
Do we want to go?
Yeah, we'll do bullpen now and save one for last.
Okay. Now I didn't put these guys in any order. I have the
Me too. I have a closer, but the other 4 aren't in any order.
4. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So I have Clark Schmidt as one of my.
I almost put him.
I almost did too.
I think
he would have been my number 6 bullpen guy.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. So
my first guy is Michael King.
Yeah, I have him on here.
Obviously,
he's been nasty.
I also have Michael King.
Yeah, he's been nasty.
Number 2, I have Edwin Diaz.
I have Diaz on here.
I have Diaz slotted as my closer.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I also have him on there.
Sure.
I have a different closer, but that's okay.
Our closer is the best bullpen pitcher in the majors.
Yes.
Clay Holmes is also on my list.
Yes. Clay Holmes is the closer. Sorry.
Yeah. He's on my list too. It's okay.
So those 3 were very easy for me.
Yes.
And then so I have Drew Smith.
I have Drew Smith as well.
Drew Smith, yep.
Having a very good year.
Me and Joe are not me and Joe. I love him. I love Drew Smith.
He's good. He's solid.
I've never watched him pitch, but from the numbers,
he's got a hammer curveball. Big hammer curveball. Yes.
Okay.
So if you guys didn't have Schmidt, who's the one that you have instead?
My 5th is Wandy Peralta, having a very sneaky good year. Like no one's talking about him at all.
Okay.
Boone's been starting to use him in some more high leverage situations. He delivers like every time.
Yeah. Sure. I don't hate Wandy at all.
Is
Well,
Wandy
that grand
lefty,
slam
right?
or the home run he gave up against the Blue Jays was the first home run he gave up all year.
Okay. I didn't know
He's
that.
been pretty dominant.
Is Wandy a lefty?
Yeah.
He is. Okay, I thought so. So I have Wandy on my list, but I put an asterisk on it because I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I've been hoping the Mets would do this for the last year. David Peterson as a lefty out of the bullpen, I would love to see that become a thing. But obviously it's not a thing, so that's why I put Wandy. But if I could do that, I would put Peterson as a lefty out of the pen.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. I hear you. So, all right. So we were pretty similar there, besides the one.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. That was easy. All right. Let's jump into the position players.
I feel like this was easy.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty easy.
We're
too.
going to disagree at a couple points.
We'll see.
I guess. I can disagree.
Catcher. I think this
catcher is
Trevino.
Catcher Trevino.
The Mets catchers, I looked and I was like, oh my God, this is bad.
Yeah, they're disgusting. I don't want to talk about it.
Did James McCann get sent down?
No, he got injured. He got
Okay.
surgery on his thumb, so he's on his way up. But
Gotcha.
Now, first base, as much as I love Rizzo, it's Pete Alonso.
Well, I have Alonso in my DH spot.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about doing that too, but I ended up putting Pete at first as well.
Well,
Because
all right.
it was either Mark Canna in the outfield and no Rizzo, or I'm putting Rizzo at first and Alonso at DH. So
I'm gonna
that
go
was
with
pretty
him.
easy for me.
I like that idea much more than what I have.
Say it again.
Okay.
Uh,
So Rizzo at first and Alonso DH.
Yeah, I almost did that, but I didn't. I don't have Rizzo on my list, and I'll show you guys why. But
I feel like Rizzo
just
had to
switched.
make Rizzo's
I
playing
just
too
switched.
good.
I'm doing what Tuds just did. Rizzo's at first, Alonso's at DH. That's what I have.
Okay.
I'm going to keep Pete at first.
Second base.
Borey.
So I have, and you can flip it either way. I have. Could Gleyber Torres play third base?
No.
Okay, so I have Gleyber Torres at second base.
Interesting.
Okay.
I have Jeff McNeil at second base.
I also have Jeff McNeil at second base.
Interesting. I have Jeff McNeil at third. He hasn't played there much this year, but he's played there in the past. And obviously, he's a great all-around defensive player, and I need his bat in the lineup. I thought that Gleyber's bat, to me, outweighs. I know Rizzo's hitting really well right now, but I thought Gleyber needed to be in there for me, so I put McNeil at third, Gleyber at second.
Okay.
Gleyber missing was the hardest choice for me. Like second base was the hardest choice for me.
Yeah.
But,
I went pretty true to position. I didn't like flop people around or anything.
I like to play manager when I do this kind of stuff. So
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, Gleyber missed out on the list for me, but he would have been the first bench guy.
Yeah, agreed. So like third base, I don't have Jeff McNeil. I have the best, or who I think is better of the two, Escobar or Josh Donaldson.
Oh, you don't have DJ in there?
I have DJ LeMahieu.
You went DJ?
Yep.
Okay. I don't.
He's been playing.
I would
He
probably.
started off.
I would go DJ. If I factor.
He started off half and half at third and second, but ever since Torres started hitting again, we've seen a lot more DJ at third, Donaldson, DH, and DJ plays a great third defensively. So
Yeah, he
Who do you
does.
have at third, BJ?
I just changed it to DJ.
Oh, who'd you have originally?
I went Donaldson. I don't really like Escobar or Donaldson.
Yeah, they're both
both haven't been great.
Yeah, so
That's fair.
shortstop.
Wait, who was your third or Borey?
My third, but I put McNeil at third for mine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Shortstop, I went Lindor.
Lindor.
Had to.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Very
Outfield, we all have Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Who's your second outfielder?
Well, I have Judge in center.
Okay.
I have Stanton in right,
Yep.
and I have Starling Marte in left.
It's exactly what I have.
I have Aaron Judge in right, Starling Marte in center, Brandon Nimmo in left, DH Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay.
I thought about Nimmo, but if I can have Rizzo in the lineup over Nimmo, I'm gonna do that.
See, I
And that's
was
not a hard
also
decision.
torn between Nimmo and Rizzo. I think in my lineup, I have Pete, Giancarlo, I have Judge, and I have Lindor. I have enough power. I need a Nimmo on base percentage, high average, lefty bat.
Rizzo
Go with Nimmo. And good in the field.
puts the ball in play.
Oh, he puts the ball in play a lot.
He doesn't.
He's great at working walks too. Like Rizzo played leadoff. Rizzo was the leadoff batter for the Cubs for a while.
Oh, I know. But
he's led off for the Yankees a handful of times.
Yeah,
100%. In my opinion, Brandon Nimmo is a top 5, maybe 3 leadoff hitter in baseball between his feel for the strike zone and his on base percentage. And he's a great fielder on top of that. So that was
I would lead off for this team. I would lead off Starling Marte.
So let's add a little wrinkle in here.
Okay.
Go through your lineup, right? Go through your position players and give me off rip right now, off the top of your mind, your lineup that you would have.
I will try to do this right now. I will lead off Starling Marte.
Yep.
I'm batting Judge second.
Yep.
I'm batting Pete Alonso third.
I would do the same.
I'm batting Stanton fourth. I am batting Lindor fifth.
Okay.
I'm batting Jeff McNeil sixth, just because you got to split up the top 2 halves with a lefty. Oh, I don't have Rizzo yet. I will go Stanton 4. Well, this is what I'm going to do to balance out the lefties. Marte, Judge, Pete, Rizzo, Stanton, Lindor, Jeff McNeil, DJ.
Jose
Trevino last.
Yeah.
Trevino last. Yep.
I think that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
That way you got the lefties at 4 and 7.
BJ, were you on the same page as him?
Yeah, pretty much. And if the only thing you could think about doing is moving Rizzo to 2 and sliding everybody down 1.
Sure.
That's maybe the only other thing. But other than that, I
think if you got Judge and Pete, that's got to be your 2-3.
Right. Yeah.
See, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like in baseball, there's been a shift lately in the way people view lineups. I feel like it's always been your best hitter at 3, and now it's kind of switching to your best hitter at 2.
It absolutely has changed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Because they're trying to get him more at bats, and I get the thought.
Try to guarantee that extra bat. Yeah.
Right. And I get the thought process.
I saw a stat actually yesterday that statistically in today's baseball, the second batter has the best chance to produce RBIs.
Yeah, I get that thought process, but when I'm making this lineup, I'm going conventionally. So I'm a manager of my own softball team, right? I like to put the 3-hitter third, right? Get the guys on base before him, right? So I went Nimmo 1, and you guys aren't going to like this, but bear with me. Nimmo 1, Lindor 2, because he's a switch hitter. Judge 3, Pete 4, Stanton 5, McNeil 6, Marte 7, Trevino 8, and then Torres 9.
I have no problems with that, really, to be honest with you.
It's just different philosophies, I guess.
The best part about it was you said I put my best hitter at 3, and then you said Aaron Judge. So I was okay with anything else that came.
Yeah. I'm only biased when I want to be.
That's fair.
Right now, I don't want to be.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fellas. Well, it was a pleasure doing this episode with you. A lot of fun. Kyle, thank you for joining us as always.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Hopefully we can talk more baseball moving forward.
Of course.
2-2 Yankees. Let's go.
So good. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching.